Bologna United Methodist Church. I'm happy to be here today to introduce Pastor Lauren Delano, and I've got some questions that people have sent in and a few of my own, and I hope that you will enjoy this time that we have to get to know her a little better.
Thanks, Sharon.
So let's just start off kind of from the beginning.
Okay.
Tell us all a little bit about your family, your parents, your siblings, where they all are right now.
Awesome. Yeah, so my parents live in Wisconsin. That is not where I'm from or where I was born, but they moved there about 5 years ago. My mom is in human resources and works for a manufacturing company, so they moved for her job. My dad just started a journey to be a local pastor in the United Methodist Church in Wisconsin. So when I started on July 1st at Bologna, he was starting at a church in Wisconsin. So that's an exciting thing happening in my family. You know, you sometimes hear that the younger pastor is the second generation pastor, but I've been joking that he's actually second generation pastor in this case. And then my brother and sister-in-law and my niece, who's just 4 months old, live in Round Rock, Texas. My brother is also a pastor in the Church of Christ tradition. So 3 of the 4 of us are pastors, and we are, my mom says she's good, so we are all really close, and it's great to be in one time zone so we can coordinate calls and talk to one another when we have an opportunity. So
that's fascinating. I would love to be with you all at a family gathering to hear you talk about theology. That would be fun. Where were, let's see, so where did you grow up then?
So I was born in Wichita, Kansas. That's where all of my extended family is from. That's where our roots are, is Kansas. That's where my parents met in college. And then we lived in Houston for 6 years, and then my family moved to Fayetteville when I was 10. So I call Fayetteville home and Arkansas home, but I may be the only person in my immediate family who thinks of Arkansas as home. It's a place that I feel most at home. I went to college at Hendrix College, so I've just always found myself at home here.
So I know you mentioned in your sermon on Sunday about what happened after Hendrix.
Yes.
Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so while I was at Hendrix, I discerned the calling to go into ministry, and so then I went to seminary at Boston University School of Theology. It's a United Methodist seminary. It's actually the first United Methodist seminary, and it was partially to just get out of the South for a little bit. As much as I said I love being at home in Arkansas, I wanted to experience church in a different way and experience the world a little differently. So I lived in Boston for 3 years, where I was already, I've had this conversation with a few congregants already, but I was already a New England Patriots fan and got to enjoy cheering them on, and then became a Boston Red Sox fan as well. And just found a place of where I could question things and learn new things and explore my calling even more with friends and with others who were discerning their calls to ministry.
What kind of extracurricular activities did you enjoy as you were growing up?
When I was growing up, I loved to be involved in lots of things. So at church, I was always asking to volunteer for something like Vacation Bible School. Even at age, in 6th grade, I was helping with that all the way through high school and leading Bible studies for middle schoolers. But while I was in school, I played the flute for a little bit, and I'm trying to revive that habit now, but it's not going well yet. And then what I loved the most was playing volleyball. I played volleyball starting in 8th grade all the way through high school, continued to play intramurals at Hendrix and even in seminary. A fun fact about me, my freshman year of college at Hendrix, I got the Female Intramural Athlete of the Year award.
Yay.
While all these other people were receiving awards for their achievements in academics. I got an award for my athletic prowess on the intramural field, so that is fun. So just, my family loves sports. You'll hear that over and over. My brother played baseball growing up, so spent many weekends at baseball fields, and so we love any sort of way to be competitive. You may not want to play games with me. I try to rein it in, but I have a competitive spirit, so.
I've already found a connection with you.
Good.
I grew up playing volleyball too,
awesome.
and I'm competitive, so yay, let's play games.
Okay, awesome. We'll be on a team together so we
Yes,
don't scare other people.
Exactly. Well, so that was when you were growing up. What about your hobbies or favorite activities now?
Yeah, so I still love to follow sports and play sports. My dad was a runner when he was growing up, so I didn't love running when I was growing up, but now that I get to do it on my own time and schedule, I love running. Also, just love going to athletic events. I'm very excited to be a Bologna Eagles fan whenever we are able to have organized sports again, so I'm looking forward to that. I love to listen to podcasts, both podcasts to learn about sermons or sermon ideas, but also podcasts about pop culture or mystery podcasts. I'm also, Sharon and I actually ran into each other when I was pursuing this hobby. I have a few friends that I like to travel with, and we're on a journey to go to all 75 counties in Arkansas together. So Sharon and John and I ran into each other but didn't know each other yet in Piggott, Arkansas at the Hemingway House there. So my friends and I have gone to 25 counties so far, and we are continuing the journey once COVID is over, when we're able to do more traveling. I also am trying to go to all 50 state capitals. I think I've been to the buildings themselves. I think I've been to 15 so far, so I'm checking those things off my list as well.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We can continue that forever.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite author or musician or other artist?
Yeah, so I really love, I don't have a particular author, but I love the genre of psychological thrillers. I love the mystery. I love getting drawn into the stories. And just trying to figure out where the author is going, and I love being surprised because it's often hard, if the book is written well, to figure out what the twist is going to be. I love Monet and other impressionist artists. I've just been drawn to that work for a long time, and when I was studying abroad in college, I got to go to Paris and to the art museum where some of Monet's large paintings are held, and just loved admiring that work. And music-wise, I listen to lots of different things. I like country music. I also like a lot of singer-songwriter artists like Ben Rector. He grew up in Tulsa, but he went to the University of Arkansas when I was growing up, and he started to play free shows and has become really popular, and he just sings fun songs, and so he's one of my favorite musicians.
Nice. Well, back to the competitive part of it. Do you have a favorite board game?
Oh, yes. My family loves games, so whenever we're home for Thanksgiving, which is often the time we're all together, every night my brother is insisting we play a game. So one of my favorites growing up was Life, but one of the ones I've played more recently is called Ticket to Ride, and it's sort of like Risk or other games where you're trying to gain territory and you're trying to build train tracks across the U.S. It's a game both of strategy and luck, I would say, like many of those games are. But also, when I'm with my family, we're playing a lot of dominoes, of a game especially called Chicken Foot is a game we love to play.
We play that too.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Do you collect anything?
I don't really collect anything other than, I said this sort of as a joke earlier, but it's true, other than memories. I'm really drawn to collecting memories and experiences. So if you were to come to my house and look in my closet, I have all of these boxes of note cards that people have sent to me or ticket stubs. I love to have experiences like traveling or going to a concert, and so I sort of keep those pieces of paper or relics that remind me of those experiences, and every time I move I get to sort of pull those out and look through them and be reminded of the way I've gotten to spend time with other people. I think that's why I like experiences so much, because it's not just about what you're doing, but it's also about the people that you're with while you're doing it.
I agree. Love that. All right, a little bit more serious note. What is the best career advice you've received?
I think the best career advice I've received, especially as a pastor, I'm gonna let this pass. As a pastor and someone who's trying to help lead people to learn and explore their faith, is to be able to say, I don't know. I think that's like one of the best career advice I've ever received, is that, you know, I can't know everything, and it is okay to sometimes say, you know, I don't know the answer to that question, or that's a really great question, let me think about it, and to be able to spend, or even just admitting where I haven't thought about that before or learned about that, and oftentimes being committed then to going and researching or finding out more, but to be able to say, you know, that's just something I don't know the answer to. Another just thought, one of my friends who was also moving over this season, she was writing a letter to your congregation and said, I didn't always get it right, but I always wanted to get it right. And I think that's some really thoughtful advice as we're learning together and being in a relationship with each other, is that, you know, I'm going to be doing my best to lead and work alongside you, and for us to be in relationship and ministry together. And I'm always going to be trying to do the best I can, but I might not always get it right. And so for us to be able to have grace for each other will be a really beautiful and helpful way to live in community.
What is, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
I mean, I am so looking forward to getting to know you better,
Thank you.
Pastor Lauren. This is, you're just a very wonderful person, I can tell already. And
Thank you.
We're looking forward to working with you at Bologna. But what's something else that we haven't talked about today that you'd like to share with the congregation?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm so excited for the journey we're going to go on together, to be in ministry together, and that something, you know, as we talked about early on in the interview at the beginning, you know, my family doesn't live in Arkansas, my immediate family, but what I love about the church and what I've discovered over and over again in the church is that the church becomes family for us. And so I am grateful for that. I look forward to the ways that we can be family to one another, that we can share in each other's joys and challenges, that we can be in prayer for each other, that we can share wisdom about our faith with one another. And so, like I said, I think in my first worship service, many of you have already said, welcome to our church family, and that's some of the best encouragement and welcome I could imagine receiving. So I'm excited to be part of your church family and to see the ways that our relationships grow.
Thank you so much, Pastor Lauren.
Thank you.